Hey, I am so encouraged that you keep coming back. Do that. Keep investing in your walk with Jesus a little bit each day, and I love that this podcast is a part of that. Today, we're going to continue to explore this idea of what in the world am I here for, and we're going to continue to explore specifically how you were formed for God's family. Now, I told you this week that you become a child of God by putting your faith in Jesus Christ, but that you were also called not just to believe in Jesus, but to belong to a local church. And today, I want to give you one of the greatest and most primary pictures of the local church that we have in the Bible. And that's that the church is a family, and that the church should become your family. The church is not a building. The church is not a place you go to. The church is a people, and that people is a family with God as their father. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 19 says, "So you are no longer strangers and aliens, but you are fellow citizens with the saints and members of the household of God." So if you put your faith in Jesus, you are a member of the household of God. Now, I live in a neighborhood, and I remember when I grew up, I lived in West Virginia, and it was fun to get to, ride my bike to my friends' houses and hang out with them. Every house you went to had a little bit different rules. Every house you had to kind of know how mom and dad acted in that house. Some of them you left your shoes on. Some you had to take your shoes off. Some of them you were free to raid the fridge anytime you wanted. The others you had to ask permission, it felt like, for everything. Am I allowed to use your bathroom? So every household has different operating procedures. But what I realize is when I'm in all these other households, I'm a guest, I'm a visitor. But when I come to my household, my family, I'm a member of the family. And so I get to act differently. There's a couple different things. I have different responsibilities. I have different expectations, but also I have a different level of comfort, and my family is there for me. And your church needs to become your family, because when God looks at it, your church is your family. Your local church is your family. And sometimes, and I've experienced this, where the people that are a part of my church can become closer in my life than a lot of the people that I'm actually blood related to. Now, your church, if it's a true family, and this is, again, why I think your Christian club at school or, an organization doesn't do the full job with this. Because a family has different generations. A family has kids, a family has older people, a family has grandparents, and you're going to need those different people. You need people who are at a different walk of life than you. You don't just want to be surrounded by everybody who's in the same 1 or 2 year stage of life as you, because that's kind of like being a really bad swimmer only surrounded by other really bad swimmers. You're eventually going to drown because at some point you're going to be in trouble. You don't want to be just surrounded by bad swimmers. So you want people that are in different stages of life. You want people that are further along. You want people who have walked through hard things and are there to walk through them with you because they've already experienced now the things that you're experiencing. You want role models to look up to because you can look at them and see what's been incredible in their life, how they've handled trials, how they've had success, how they follow Jesus, and you have pictures and role models in your life. And the other thing that I love, I have a really good family. I grew up in a great family, but there were always missing pieces in my family. And when you belong to a local church, and when you realize that you are a part of it, you don't just go to a church, but you're a part of it, then God will make up the missing pieces of your family. Maybe your relationship with mom and dad isn't what it should be, but God gets to be your father, and God also will bring spiritual moms and dads into your life. Maybe you're an only child, or maybe your siblings don't want anything to do with Jesus. As you continue to keep coming back and being involved with your local church, you get spiritual brothers and sisters, spiritual uncles and aunts, and you get to be a big brother. You get to be a big sister to somebody else that needs it. A church is a family, and so when you're not around, you don't feel like you're part of the family. When you're around, you feel more and more like you're a part of the family. And so the question I want to leave you with today, in your life, when you think about the local church that you maybe say you're a part of or that you should be, are you acting like an orphan, a stranger, an outsider, or a family member? Are you living like an orphan or a guest, or are you taking on the role of a family member? Your church needs you, and you need your church. And so today I just want to encourage you, look at your church like a family and look at yourself like an invested family member, because you were called to belong, not just believe.